Alright, well, I was going to play around with some reverbs today, but I came across, I've seen this, I think there's one or two other effects that have this in here, but I just wanted to point this out for anyone who didn't know. So we have this kick flanger right here. So let's just say I have no preamps or anything going, and I have it just the switch to right there. But it has in here latch and unlatch. So right now it's off. So there you have some. You can hear some of that flanger in it. Ooh, finger was a little off there. Anyway, then I can turn the effect on or off. It's off. Now it's on. What it means by the latch is it's off and it's a momentary switch. And as soon as I let go, it's gone. Yeah, not sure if everyone knew that, but I just came across it and was thinking, I might put that in there. But anyway, I want to change effects. I am not running any preamp on this today. This is strictly just play with the effects themselves. So let's what do you think we should do? Let's get down to reverbs here. Got a good amount. Some of them are power hungry. You can see 36%. That's a lot. Oh, there you go. Air. Let's see what the air does. Let's see. See how much it fattens it up. Let's turn it off. Little subtle, really subtle effect to it. Well, I guess as in the name, it kind of like opens the sound up some. I need to do a setup on this bass. Love the sound of fresh new strings though. So you can hear it there. You know, it's almost like a compression effect almost. Not really, but almost like the sound. It doesn't feel like a compression, but the sound of it almost gives that effect of a slight compression. Alright, let's go next. Oop, back. Change effect. Room. Okay. Oh my gosh. Change effect. Room. There we go. Big hands on little screens don't work out too well. Let's see. Nope, it's back on room. I know, killing me, guys. Real subtle effect. I see why they do it. I almost think if I want reverb, though, I want it on. But that's me. That's just how I use them. Very light. Almost as if it's not there, unless you're listening for it. 13% though. 13%, I'd probably rather have something that I had a little more control. Not really control, but I can add a little more power to it. Bright Room. Let's see how this one sounds. Yeah, we're going to do real quick. Let's give a little more volume. I don't know. Yeah, too subtle for me. Again, if I want reverb, I want some verb. So let's change. Let's come back. This is what I do on my Saturday and Sunday mornings, play around with different things. I also have the Headrush MX5s. I got some videos with that. Don't ever really try to make anything, generate tones. I just more to play with things, just so I understand them a little further on how they work. See, the hall is kind of in your face, which, depending on the room you're playing, if you're using this in a live situation, that's where I feel the others, the room might add that to where on the other ones we were listening to, you really wouldn't notice a big difference. Something like this, you know, I'm just going to make it ugly for a second, but you can really hear it. So if you really wanted to add that reverb effect in another room, you're going to hear it with this one. Bright Hall. Pretty much about the same. Obviously, it's probably just going to be a little bit brighter. Again, let's just give it a quick. Jolly good. All right, HD Hall. Tail on these reverbs. So if you listen, turn it on, doesn't sound any different. What the tail means is if I have this effect on and I go to turn it off, it's going to trail the note. So like off, because I stopped the note, it probably ain't going to do much. You can hear it a little bit. So if it's on, even with the effect off, it didn't shut it off completely. It lets it fade out on the note, which I like. Otherwise, it's too abrupt of a change for my personal taste. Not bad. They said a lot of bass players don't use, but look at that, 42%. Man, that's a lot. But that one sounded nice and clean. You could really dial it in. But you're not going to be able to use preamps, cab sims, things like that with that one. That's probably going to be strictly have a patch created with that reverb on there if you were using this as just a pedal board or something. Oh, there's the old infamous spring reverb. Yep, you really get something on this one. One thing about the spring reverbs in the amps, and I noticed Jerry Garcia was one that did this. If you ever look at pictures of Jerry Garcia's guitar setup, he has that twin reverb head, which is highly modified, but he has it sitting upright, almost on its side. And that was for the spring reverb, so it wasn't laying flat and sagging. It got a more consistent tone when it was standing straight up and down on top, with stage vibrations and everything. And the guitar player in my band is set up that way. And you can really tell a difference on that if you really start listening. Up, back, change effect. And plate. That's going to be our last reverb on this. Now, a plate reverbs, those are nice. I almost think plates do really good on drum sets and such. Actually, we use a plate reverb on our drum set and our mixer if we're trying to add a little bit. It's almost like a consistent, but a lot of times plate reverbs can sound very digital. That's one thing you got to be careful with those. See, it's almost like it swells into it. Really carries on. Obviously, I have this thing set pretty high just so we can hear it. That give you almost like if you added a little. Here, we'll just leave that high for a minute just so we can hear something. Let's just real quick add a delay onto that, and let's add let's just do an old analog delay. We'll mess with the delays on another video. I just wanted to show something for an example. Let's bring that one up. Give it a little bit more of that. Now let's do this. Let's go to the plate and let's bring the mix of it down, the decay a little bit. shorten that up. Too much. Let's cut it in half. Almost a little Pink Floyd there. You'd have to get that. Maybe that's a little bit faster. I have to look. Guy Pratt. Yes, Guy Pratt. He played bass with Pink Floyd for a while after Roger Waters. And he's got a great video on his channel about his settings and everything for the delay. And you can get a really good Pink Floyd tone dialed in off that guy's channel. That's too fast. But that's just showing example of like plate reverbs on how they're a little bit different than the others. Just real quick before I end this video, like if I just change this plate, there you go, change this plate reverb just back to a let's just take it to a hall. You're here, you wouldn't have that kind of effect. This one, and it rings out, but it almost fades down where you can kind of hear a little bit more of the bass. I guess that's all in really what you're going for. But I mean, you can get this with the mix, but you're really going to hear it. Well, actually, that sounds pretty good right there. I do have that tone. I've sat down with a few different versions of that Pink Floyd song one of these days to get that dialed in. I might show you guys that one day. The proper way to do that, I'm doing that with a finger, but it'd be with the pick. I actually almost like that hall reverb better on that. That's for a different video. Anyway. Sorry to waste y'all's time, but just wanted to run through these. Like I said, this is what I do the weekend mornings. I just play around with different effects. Sometimes I write notes down. Usually, if I don't really care for it, I don't write the note down for it. But sometimes I got a piece of paper over here. I'll just write down like this. I'm going to put hall with this delay, just so someday if I'm ever bored, I can come back and touch on it. Can't stress on how important it is to just get into your gear and start playing with it to see what it does. You're really not going to mess nothing up. Worst case scenario, you reboot it to factory settings. That's your absolute worst case, but you ain't going to mess nothing up. Please dig into these things, play with them, experiment with them. There's so much you can do. But anyway, until next time, thank you all for watching. Sorry for the long drug out reverb video. Take care. Thanks.